I've always been a leader, I think, since I was a small girl. The organization is transformed into a service-driven entity.
Something, Henrietta, I don't know whether you're familiar with this. I just had conversation. It's one of those things that have come up with people who are sensitizing people on voting on the shows. Have you encountered the situation with absentee ballots or no?
Actually, I was talking to someone about an absentee ballot the other day where they were saying that they saw a video of someone who was receiving an absentee ballot and was complaining that it was favoring a certain candidate and so on. But I told them that if they feel the absentee ballot is not going to be the way to go, then let them just make sure that they are ready that day, Tuesday, November 3rd. Put on your gloves, have your sanitizer, put on your mask, be ready to, if it's going to be a long line, just give yourself time and go and, go in that line, cast your vote. Because I do understand that being that it's COVID times, people are scared. Some people may even not turn up, which will be so sad. But I think if you are ready for it and make sure that you have gloves on because you don't want to share a pen when you get there, or you don't want to punch in and touch the screen with your fingers, put on your gloves. Be ready with your sanitizers. They will allow you to go, I think, with your sanitizers, and even they'll have sanitizer there that after you've cast your vote, you can wash your hands and walk away. But at least try to make sure that you have that civic duty done.
Wow. Thank you so much, Henrietta Wamala, for those, that insight and remarks. I would like to ask you to sum up and give your last remarks in about 2 minutes.
Okay, thank you so much, Busie, for having me on your show. Just to let people know, Henrietta is one individual, but you all out there can also be involved. You can stay informed by keeping up with the updates of what's going on around you, what's going on in your community, what's going on at the national level. Keep up with the news. Get out and talk to people. Get on a phone call and call 1, 2, 3 people and encourage them to vote. Because we know that, yes, because of COVID, some people may see it as a turnoff, but try to get people to do something to make sure that it will lead them to casting that vote. The other thing is volunteer. In 2008, I was pregnant, but I volunteered and drove people to the polls. I know that I may not be able to go door to door because of COVID and bringing people and taking them and so on and so forth, but I can make a phone call. I can volunteer maybe with the polling stations if they still need people to do anything, either walk and show people where to go. Try to be involved. When you volunteer in your communities, you're giving back. You're making yourself available. And the community will also show you love when you've shown them love. That's how I always see it. When you give someone something, ask them to pay it forward. When you volunteer and get someone to the polls, ask that person to tell the other person to also make it to the polls, or ask them to go do the same thing for the other person. That's how I would see it. We are not islands. The only way that we can succeed is by making sure that we involve other people. We network, we reach out. That's the way we can grow, because you can only grow by learning. You have to learn something new to be able to improve yourself. But I think that is what I would say. Let's try to at least be informed, get out and talk to people, get on a phone call and volunteer. Give yourself back to your community.
You've heard people, you've heard what the wonderful Henrietta Wamala has said about your participation. Everybody counts and your participation is important. I would like to thank my dear friend and the president and CEO of the Ugandan American North American Association, UNAA, Henrietta Wamala, for coming to the voting diaspora to share everything regarding what you can do to facilitate these elections. She's educated us on the important things you can do and the important things we need to know about the elections and what we need to know about the election cycle.
Yeah.
I would like to thank you all for tuning in. And you can follow me on Facebook at Busie Matsiko Anden. You can also follow me on Instagram at Busie Matsiko and on YouTube at Busie Matsiko Anden. Thank you very much. And I look forward to seeing you all next week at the same time. Have a wonderful evening. And thank you once again, Henrietta, for your time.
Thank you for having me,
Wonderful
Busie.
evening. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye, dear.